Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be doing my October Get Ready With Me. So in this Get Ready With Me I used a whole bunch of exciting new products, including things like the Petty Patter Ink Velvet, the new version, as well as some really cute products from Clear like the blush powder. I think this one is so fun. But basically, if you want to see how I achieved this look, then please just keep watching. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to use the Holika Holika Devil's Plumper. This is the matte primer on my lips to see if it does anything at all. I have tried it before and it's really not that bad, like it's not that spicy unless you actually lick your lips, in which case, like, for my tongue it's quite spicy, but for my lips it's pretty much like not really that bad. So I've applied a generous layer and I can feel it tingling. It's like a mentholy sort of tingle. It's not that bad, like it's, you can really feel it, but not to the point where I'd be crying or unhappy about it. Although I am still waiting for the other one, the red one, to come as well. That one's in my Beauty Box Korea order, so I'm missing half of the stuff that I'm supposed to have, but that's okay, we can just use this one by itself. Theoretically you can use them separately anyway. Then I'm going to be priming my skin using the Peach Sea Peach Glow Makeup Base. I'm just going to do one half of my face so you guys can see the difference between the primed and the non-primed side. So I'm just going to take just a little bit on my fingertip there and I'm going to apply that to the majority of my face, apart from I'm really just going to avoid this little section here. The primer smells really interesting. I still haven't really decided whether I like the smell or not. It does definitely smell like peach, but it's not super sweet. I feel like it smells like some sort of drink that I've had in the past maybe. I'm actually going to put some of this around my eye as well. And just a little bit down at the top of my nose too. So that is what the primer looks like on one half of my face. It is quite shiny and it's kind of got like a pink to purple pearl to it. It does make my skin feel really nice, and you can definitely see just a little bit of brightening effect, but not so much that I feel like I've got like a white cast on my skin. Honestly though, when I put a foundation on, I feel like you can't really see it that much, but the thing that I do really like about it is that it makes my makeup base go on a lot smoother afterwards. I am going to put some concealer on, so I've got the Sem Pro Tip Concealer in the shade number 1. I did get shade number 0.5 I think it was, but it looked very, very pink, so I went for this one instead. So I'm just going to put it on a couple of little scars there, a big one here and on the top of my lip. The colour is not the best, unfortunately, it's just a little bit too dark, but it is really easy to use, so you can just tap it in with your fingers. And it does give a little bit of coverage, however I wouldn't call it very full coverage, and for a concealer I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in it. I think as well the problem is that to get it to blend in with the rest of my skin, because the colour is a bit off, it's just a little bit dark, it's not too bad. I do have to kind of blend it out a little bit more so you can't see it, but then, like, you know, that didn't really conceal very much at all of that scar. It's okay on top of this one because it's more purple, and then there's a couple of little scars here that are covered a little bit, but I can still see them, so there's not a huge amount of point in actually using this concealer for me personally. For my base today I'm going to be using the Laneige Pore Control BB Cushion in the shade number 11 Porcelain. I think I tried the whitening one in number 11 Porcelain and I really, really enjoyed that colour, but this one definitely isn't quite the same colour. It's not quite as yellow, and it does give me kind of just like a little bit of a white cast, or just it looks a little bit too pale. I did choose to get just the refill for this one because honestly with cushions I go through them so quickly and they never really leave my house. So there wasn't a huge amount of point in actually getting the one that has the case on it, because the case is just going to go in the bin because I'm probably not going to use the refills for things because I try new products so often. So that is what the pore cushion looks like on one side and then without. So it definitely helps to even out my skin tone, but it is slightly, I think, too light. It's not terrible though. And I am going to be using some contouring products today, so probably won't even notice it. So that lip plumper is pretty much soaked all the way into my lips now. I still feel a little bit warm and tingly, but They're fine, as long as I don't lick them, because then my tongue will be like it's on fire. I guess my tongue is probably just more sensitive though. Okay, so that is the base complete. It doesn't look too bad of a colour on camera, to be honest. Today it just looks fine. The other times that I have been wearing it, it hasn't looked quite so good, so it's quite nice. With the cushion on, I really cannot see much of a difference with using that primer on this side versus not using it on this side. I think, you know, I can't really see much on camera. I can't really see much in real life, but the application does look smoother on this side. It's just that when the cushion is on top, you just can't see any of that shine or that luminousness. So I definitely recommend the primer if you want something that is smoothing, but not necessarily something that if you're wanting the radiance or like the shine to come through. So now I'm just going to powder my skin using my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Finishing Powder. Oh, that was mildly painful. Maybe don't drink coffee while using this plumper. Better the second time around. So the next step is going to be eyebrows and eyeshadow. So I'm going to zoom you guys in a little closer. So for brows, I actually have something that's really fun and not necessarily going to look that good, which is the Pure Skinny Brow Concealer. And this is so much fun. I actually bought this with the intention of making my eyebrows look pink so that they matched my hair, which I thought would look very cute. However, that didn't really work because the pink shadows that I had that I thought would do a good job, you couldn't really see them, so I'll insert footage of what that looked like here. But otherwise, this is actually a really fun product. So all you do is you just apply it like you would a regular brow mascara or brow product, and it is going to turn your brows, oh, well, concealer colored basically, so you can pretty much see there. And my eyebrows are pretty much black. They are technically the darkest brown you can get without being fully black, I assume, because that's what my hair color is. And this does, honestly, a pretty good job. Like, obviously I don't want my brows to disappear right into my skin. I only wanted to use it to cover them up with pink powder, and so I thought you'd be able to see it better. But honestly, I mean, like, it's not a look because it looks stupid with dark hair, but when I had blonder hair, this probably would have been quite cool. So this is the difference between using the brow concealer, or yeah, brow concealer, and then with my brows normally. And I'll just do the other side for good measure. I think I'm probably just going to cover them up with some like a regular Anastasia Beverly Hills brow product afterwards. But honestly, I really wanted to show you guys what this looked like in case you guys have got, you know, darker colored brows and light colored hair. I think that this is such a good product. I really had very low hopes for it. Oh my god, that looks so funny. I had really low hopes for it because, you know, I thought how good could it be, and is this even worth it when you could just use concealer? But honestly, I think that it is quite good because it's coating the hair and not just, you know, like everything underneath. So, and it's really quick and easy to use. I feel like that brow is much lighter than the other one though. Hold on. So those are some concealed brows. And the good thing as well with this product is that it does dry down. It doesn't feel crunchy, although I did put a lot of brow product on, but it doesn't feel crunchy when it dries down, and you can put colors over the top without actually getting rid of the concealer. So when I put the pink over top, I couldn't really see the pink because it wasn't really pigmented enough, but it didn't actually take the concealer off, and the concealer does dry down to a smudge-ish proof finish. I mean, I didn't rub my eyebrows. I wouldn't recommend rubbing your eyebrows with something like this product on, but it was dry to the touch and it didn't feel sticky, it didn't feel clunky or like chunky. So honestly, it's not a product that I need because it doesn't really work with the thing that I thought it would. But if you have naturally dark eyebrows and you have light colored hair and you want to change the color, then this is pretty good. I feel like this looks so strange. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go over them with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade just to make them the right color, because honestly this looks really strange. Not really that good for a makeup look, so I will be back soon. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Lily by Red Mood Cheat Kit. This is number 1, which is peach something. And I decided to pick that up because I obviously love the other one so much. So I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use this color in the crease, that brown in the inner part of my eye, is that one? Yeah, that brown, and then this brown in the outer part of my eye, and do pretty much exactly the same eye look that I do every single time that I do an eyeshadow, because that's what I like. But I don't know what it is, I've just not been very into doing eyeshadow looks on a day-to-day basis at the moment. Don't know why. I was like wearing eyeshadow like almost daily, maybe like a month ago, and then I just suddenly felt the urge to stop doing it, so I did. Nothing more, nothing less really. But for these shadows at least, they blend so nicely, they're so easy to use. Like, I just love Lily by Red shadow products. I think they're so good. I don't really hear very many other people talk about them. I'm just going to bring some of that underneath my eye as well. So then I'm going to use that flat shader brush to pick up this brown shimmer, and I'm going to put that in the inner third of my eye. I'm just hoping that it's not going to look too dark. Ooh, so pretty. I'm going to do the inner third, or am I going to keep going? Maybe let's try for half. And then I'm also going to do the lower lash line as well. So pretty. And then I'm going to deepen up the corner with this brown there. And hope that it doesn't, oh, it was powder. Hope that it doesn't look too dark for today. But since I'm only really filming today, I'm not particularly worried if this gets a little bit too dark and deep, because whatever it looks like in real life doesn't really come through on camera generally, so I can go a little bit overboard and we'll still look fine. So then I'm just cleaning off the brush, and I'm going to just go around and blend a little bit more. Hopefully it doesn't go all the way up into my eyebrow, because it's looking like what it's doing today. And then I think we're going to call it a day on the eyeshadow. I think that this looks really pretty. I don't normally wear very many peachy kind of like warm brown colours, but I do think that it looks quite nice. And then now I'm going to be doing my eyeliner, which is the Dolly Bank Liquid Black Eyeliner, and my mascara, which is the NARS Climax Mascara. These are not new whatsoever, so I'm going to cut this bit out and come back when my eye look is complete. And that is what the eyes are looking like. I feel like they're quite pretty. I did kind of ruin the eyeshadow by hitting myself in the eyeball with the mascara wand, but that's okay. Next up are cheeks. I'm going to be using this little palette from Misha. This is the Glow Edition Face Filter Face Palette in #1 Coral Wants Me. And I'm only going to be using this one for the contour shade, so I'm going to be using this one here. And I'm going to be using that around the perimeter of my face with this brush from Real Techniques. This is a multitask brush apparently. So I'm going to pick up a bit of that, and I'm kind of going to pick up a bit of that lighter colour beside it and mix the two together so that it's not quite so dark. Although knowingly it's still going to look really dark for no good reason. And I'm going to put a little bit of this underneath sort of the cheek area. See, why does that look so dark on camera and not dark at all in real life? And then some around the forehead. And that is kind of what half of the face looks like with some of the contour products. I actually don't mind these ones or whatsoever. I think that the combination of these two is quite pretty. I don't necessarily like the rest of the stuff in this palette though, so because it's only got coral colours, I was thinking about using it today, but I have also the Cleo blush palette, which I wanted to show you too, so I thought I'd just use the contours from this one and then the other colours from the blush palette. I'm sorry, that's super noisy, but I have too much hair on this side and I cannot, you know, bronze my face without actually moving my hair. I don't know, is this bronzing or contouring, or is it just an interchangeable word at this point in time? This side of my face is harder to bronze or contour because I have a birthmark here and that kind of gets in the way, but it's okay, we do our best. Plus I've got more hair on this side of my face because my parting is over here, so that makes it a little bit harder. Now that brings a little bit more warmth into my face. I'm going to use the lighter colour here. I don't know, is this supposed to be like a contouring thing or not? And I'm going to put a little bit down the side of my nose and a little bit underneath my chin. And so if I find that if I put a darker colour underneath my chin, it looks stupid. Like you can see it, it looks dumb. I could also use a highlight from here. So I might try, although the last time I used it I really didn't like it, so maybe not. I'll use a highlighter from the Clear palette, so that's the highlighter there, which I haven't used this one yet. But yep, no, I definitely like that more than the Misha one. The Misha one was very like glittery, and that's just not my cup of tea. So I'm using the same brush as I did before because I don't want to use another one. Put some down the nose, a little bit on the forehead. I should technically put that above my eyebrow, not the middle of my forehead, but whatever. And some on the chin. And then using the same palette, I'm going to use this color in the middle here. It's like a little peach color. I thought that would look quite nice with the eyeshadows. And it's way too much. So I'm going to try and mesh that in with the bronzer contour. Much in real life, but I can barely, very lightly see it on camera. So, and then just real quick, I'm going to use my powder brush to try and blend them in together a little bit more. And then lastly, lips. My primer has absorbed. It makes my lips feel like there's a little bit of silicone on top of them, but other than that, it's fine. There's nothing to like rub off or anything, which is very unusual. For lip color, I'm going to use one of the new Petty Pitta Ink Velvets. So this is the new improved packaging and formula. This one is number 4, which is called Vitality Coral, which I haven't used before. I think this is going to be a bit too pink for what I want, but yep, that's totally a weird color to go with this, but that's okay. Okay, so that one is, what did I just call that one? Vitality Coral. Put it down and I've immediately forgotten. And that is pretty much the complete look for today. I don't know how much I like Vitality Coral as a lipstick with this eyeshadow look and cheeks, because I feel like the eyeshadow is very like brown, warm browns. I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah. I think that the Devil's Primer, or like the Hellgate, whatever it's called, the little lip primer that I use at the start, I think that it does help in terms of plumping out some of those lip lines and moisturizing my lips a little bit. I don't feel like it really made my lips look a lot bigger or better, because when I look at them now I can still see quite a few wrinkles, but I definitely can't see any like lip flakes or anything. So I feel like it's done a little bit of something, but not that much. I'm very interested to try out the like glossy topper. Like I said, it's still not here yet, but it is on the way, and so you guys will see it, I think, before you even see this video. Because that is how the schedule is set up. Sorry. So if you go back in time to Tuesday's video, you can see me trying out both of the plumpers. The Petty Pitta Ink Velvets are, I think, a better formula than the previous ones. I will talk about them more when I get a missing one. Of course, it's also in the beauty box career order. But in the review for the Petty Pitta, which is going to be 2 weeks from now, yes, 2 weeks Tuesday, I will also compare it to the regular formula, the very first one, so you guys will be able to see the difference. But so far I think that the new one, it's a little bit more pigmented, it's a little bit easier to use than the other ones. I only got 5 of the old versions because I got the very end of the old version, and I do like them, but I feel like I like these ones better. So that is the final look for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!